What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business and Biceps. And you better wake your ass up, because on today's show, man, am I excited. We got the funniest person maybe we've ever met. Comedic extraordinaire. In that has the most gender-neutral haircut I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn, welcome to the show. Hutch on Humbo. We fired up today.
Listen, we're fucking excited. We saw this guy fucking rip down the Funny Bone in Columbus last night.
Boy.
Dude, there's a lot of energy here, man. Welcome, Theo.
Jesus Christ,
You ready,
bro?
boy?
You know my deal.
I'm about to steal some blood. I feel like I'm about to buy a pint
That
of
tiger
blood. From
blood.
Yeah. Dude, I would buy a couple grams from y'all.
Yeah, I got it.
I would buy a couple grams.
Just got
man,
that
thank
hitter,
you so
bro.
much for having me, man. This is great. I'm glad to do this. It's kind of like a swap now we did because you guys came on this past weekend, and here I am, man. The studio is awesome.
Thank you.
Dude, it's good to see you. Fosco's got the fucking shades on, dude.
How we doing?
Bruh.
Indoor shades, bro. I love it, dude. I love it.
Hey.
I hope when
He's dedicated, bro.
Oh, dude, when he's like 90, I hope when he's like
Same
90,
deal, same
he has
deal.
those big
He's gonna
ones,
be
you know,
bigger.
old people.
That wrap around.
He's just going to go the blue blockers.
Or he's just got his
all
whole.
about the blue blockers.
Hey, right?
I'm just trying to get a sponsorship, too.
Blue blockers were nice. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Remember the
Yeah.
commercials like,
Yeah.
get you some blue blockers.
Yeah, right.
But they're like yellow. They're not blue.
Yeah.
But you
they
don't
were
got to deal with the
fine.
sun at all.
Yeah, you don't have any sun. You have no
No.
weather. It could be raining. You don't feel it.
Yeah.
Blue blockers will cut out everything, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so
They make life easy.
So we got to pay the bills real quick. Today's brought to you by Robinhood, John.
Absolutely, man. Listen, Robinhood's been supporting us forever. Anybody who listens to this show is trying to get somewhere in life, and if you get somewhere in life, that means you got some money. If you got some money, you want to put some of it in the market. Every single online trading platform is going to charge you fees for buying or selling. Robinhood is the #1 platform in the fucking country because they disrupted the whole space by not charging people fees. Okay, so when you guys get involved in the market, I don't care if you spend $500 or $5,000 or $500,000. Go to a place that isn't siphoning off your money, and go to a place that provides you quality information to support your trades.
Biceps.robinhood.com. Get a free stock such as Mo.
Apple Florida Sprint.
You got it. Download that app, boy.
Get it. I'll get it.
You gotta get
Get
it,
that
Theo.
hitter, bro. You need that
And-
stock.
Yeah, just one stop.
Yes.
This is one of them.
One free.
Dude, get something good, man. I'm trying to think. I would invest in Amazon, I think.
Yeah. Hey,
I think everybody will.
I think everybody is right
That's
now.
Jeff
the only
Bezos,
company.
did you hear about his penis?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
He's
so
setting out dick pics, bro.
yeah.
good?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
I'll look at it.
Bill Maher said last night it wasn't that. Whatever.
good?
Yeah, but we're moving on.
Hey,
yeah.
Common Bond. Lastly, Common Bond. Make sure you guys save on your college debt. Why would you pay an outrageous amount? Because if your college debt, refinance it at Common Bond. John, commonbond.co/biceps.
Yeah, first off, we don't want you guys to go to fucking college. College is a waste of fucking money. It's a luxury. And
But if you already did, and you
put you in
made
debt. If you already fucking did, you go to Common Bond. You tell David Klein that Business and Biceps sent you. They're going to treat you good first off because their business model is to not charge you an interest rate like the banks do, right? They cut you straight down and they service your ass. They service you fantastically. So we have not had one listener come back to us and say they have not saved money by going to commonbond.co/biceps. And on average,
$24,000. Yeah.
they saved $24,000 over the life
Wow.
of the loan. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I actually got I refinanced my college loans a while back, and it was a really good choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that bubble that's crazy. This guy come in the business. I wish I had that idea, bro.
Yeah.
He's killing it.
That's not a bad idea at all, man.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, dude. But thank you guys so much for coming out, man. It was really, really cool. I really appreciate it.
The energy, Theo, and here's what I like. When you get to see someone in their environment, right, and they're just, I thought you was murdering it, man. I was super impressed. I realized how not funny I am and how talented you really, like you, because you think,
Thanks,
this
bro.
or that, and then you come out and you're like, me and Mo just kept looking at me and John were like, damn, and it's so edgy too, like at times, but everybody can identify. It was really fun, man.
Yeah.
Like just showing love. It was
Thanks,
good.
bro.
No,
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing though, like there's a But like one him and Ari, right?
Yeah,
Right?
Ari.
Yes.
Ari's here today.
Yeah, him and Ari. I think that there's like you just recognize natural talent.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody doesn't have it. Like some stuff is forced with people, and then it became like very talented and like very skillful and timey. And I just said to myself, and I was like, man, this dude, like, I don't know where you going, and it's just being serious. I like this motherfucker about to blow up. You know what I'm
thanks,
saying?
man.
And if you could, I would just press the gas a whole lot more than what you're doing right now. I'm being serious, man, because I was like,
You can see
I'm
it.
watching it. You just watch somebody, you're like, man, what the fuck? You know, you just can. I don't know what it
I
is.
had the waitress.
Is that
that's-
called game recognizing
Game,
game?
yeah.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. Look,
It was I'm
coming
just
from a
being
man
serious.
that is filled with immense talent and then has been muchly blessed, man, I appreciate that. That's nice of you to say that.
Nah, I don't know, but just watching you, I'm just saying, like, just from a talent standpoint, from like a skill standpoint, that shit is dope. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
Not forced, not like
It didn't feel too hacky, huh?
Nah,
Dude,
hell
not
no.
at
Hell
all.
no.
And the waitress wasn't servicing people in our whole area because she was just parked next to me for some reason. She literally was watching your whole bit. She was laughing her ass off, and
Yep.
I like to take the temperature of the room, so I'm fucking laughing my balls off. But the whole place like is hanging on every word, and you are vibing off it. There wasn't a disconnect between the vibe of the crowd and you. So it's like you rode that wave, at least from my perspective, brilliantly. So congrats.
I say this,
Yeah.
even this, I don't know comedy. I think y'all had so much content. That was like y'all put 2 shows into one show. I was like, man, this shit. I'm talking about
kept hitting. I agree.
Bro, it was joke after joke after joke after joke. It got to the point I said, these motherfuckers are really just going.
Yeah.
Right? To the point where you could have fucking just, how you could just slow it
Yeah.
down and just make it into just.
How many times you been to a comedy club, Mo?
I've
only been one other time.
I went to see Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was at a Nationwide Arena. I went to go see Little Duval, D-Ray. That was my
Are
first
those
time-
all black comics?
Yeah, that was my first time at a white
They're all
comic.
black comics.
Yeah.
You see?
No, those are some
See
great
what's
ones.
going on here?
He named some funny guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see?
John, have you been out to see?
I
Okay.
saw Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And that dude was funny as
he's
fuck.
great.
His personal life, whatever. But I gotta say, like, I don't know if it's the age group or what, but you're hit. The golden demographic in business for marketing for any reason is 18 to 34, and that's what that crowd was.
Yep.
You're in it. You got it, and you're going to the top. When you see somebody that's on their way to the top, you just know it, and you
I
are.
gotta come here more often.
Hey,
man.
Yeah, man.
blow-
Yeah, no straight talk.
Well, we pay
Straight
attention
talk.
to
Wish I
different. We
felt
pay
as
attention
good.
to different things than most do.
Yeah.
We're looking
Yeah.
at the demo. We're looking at how
I'm
people,
staring at the room.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
dude,
didn't know that. I didn't even know that about the demographic. Like, I right when you said that, I'm like, oh, I'm learning something right there because I didn't know that is that's a demographic that people aim for.
Because here's
Oh,
the deal:
big.
when you get past 34, studies show that you become more stubborn in your purchasing decisions.
Oh,
so you're
yeah.
already on your shit in that 18 to 34-year-old gap. Oh yeah, I'll go check out a new comic. I'll go spend money on his sponsor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, you're more
Oh, that's
impressionable.
interesting. That's how I am too. I think.
Yeah, use the same deodorant for 20 years after
Yeah.
you in, right? I mean, it's all.
Yeah, like I
Mo's
use-
got 5 in his bag right now.
Yeah, Mo's on the Gold Bond program. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
damn.
Yeah, Gold Bond.
He does.
Yeah, I
He's
literally
not
do.
playing. He's
on
like, buddy,
Groupon?
I buy it in a pack. He's
Yeah.
like, well, don't you?
Yeah.
It takes
So-
half a stick to get them armpits. down, I bet.
So you can't smell bad. That's it. That's my thing. You can't smell bad.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good segue because a lot of people say, oh, well, Theo just blew up. But it's always like, well, it's been like a 15-year process. I think
Yeah.
we want to return it all the way back to like, how long really have you been doing this for, Theo? I don't know that our audience knows, and I think we could kind of start there. I think that's
Yeah,
cool.
probably like 14 years, man, I guess, when I think about it. And it's been good, I guess. In the beginning, I think I didn't know what I wanted to do at all really with my life, and comedy was something that you could just kind of, I think I was unsure. I was probably, you had moved to Los Angeles, and it's really a lonesome environment out there, so I was probably like kind of depressed, didn't really know.
How old were you when you moved there?
23, and I'm
Oh,
38
wow, you've been
now.
out there for a minute.
So yeah,
15
15
years.
years. Yeah,
Wow.
15 years. But comedy was a thing you could just do it at night. You just had to
wow.
get to the club at night and do it. You didn't have to work that much. I mean, it's almost you could be fucking kind of lazy and do it, in the beginning. But then so it kind of stuck with me, and then next thing you know, it was like, oh, this is something real.
Did you go with the intention like, hey, I'm about to go out here to try comedy? Was it like I want to get into the movie industry?
I think I wanted to get into entertainment.
You want to get entertainment, and so you knew getting to LA and getting to comedy clubs was the first start.
Yeah, I think so. They had a comedy club that was near me, like literally 2 blocks away. They were doing comedy
Right.
on Wednesday night, and if they hadn't have been even that close, like I don't know if I would have got into it. But I always like joking around with my friends. I always liked making my friends laugh, and then yeah, I think there's definitely been a lot of times where it was like, man, do I give up on this? What am I doing? You know?
I, mean, I guess out of curiosity, and I don't know, and I don't like want to steer it any way different, but do comics just go to clubs and audition for the management of the club, and then they like view you, or do you all just jump on stage?
How does it start?
Yeah, I don't know how does it start? I guess.
Okay, so yeah, usually people like the first shows you can get on, people will do like an open mic they'll have in the area. So
Gotcha.
you can go and you find where there's an open mic. You can usually find them online, you know, on Facebook. Sometimes there's like Facebook groups or just like a website online that'll have all the local and even national open mics.
Gotcha.
And so you'll go there and see where they are, and you show up. Usually you watch a couple shows and then find out who's booking it and ask them, hey, you know, can I get up on one of the future shows? Sometimes it'll be called a bringer show, and they'll ask you to bring. Yeah, you can if you bring 4 people
Yeah,
to
if you
watch
bring
the
us
show.
$12
It's
to
like
buy
an
some
MMA fight
drinks
back in the
and-
day.
yeah,
Sell your
all
tickets,
that.
bring your people.
Yeah, sell your
Yeah.
tickets, bring your people. So, kind of like probably when you were at Ohio State and like, Mo, we need you to bring out 80,000.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Mo,
I think it was 101, but he did it.
So let me ask you this real quick. So you started 15 years in the game. For how many of those 15 years did you have a job outside of comedy while you were doing comedy?
Oh, that's a good question, man. Let me see. Probably 9.
This is the
Dude,
shit we talk about with our listeners
exactly what
all
we
the
talk
about.
fucking time, bro.
Absolutely.
It's like everyone wants to chase the golden dream, and the golden dream typically, yeah, the payoff could be fucking monstrous, but you still have to be a normal human being who takes pride in normal work and subjects yourself to normal work and doesn't say, I'm gonna be a comedian, the shit hasn't taken off in 2 years, I'm gonna quit, right? Because that's why people don't get outside of talent. That's why they don't get to the pinnacle, because they put a timeline on that shit. It's a fake ass timeline, but it's a timeline. I've been doing it for 2 years. I'm making $100 in a quesadilla. I'm out. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
That's already made us.
but this guy's gonna keep grinding because he's funny as fuck.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I just love that you work for 9 years. Here you are right now. I think at the precipice of explosion in this industry. And for fucking 9 years, you're doing comedy and you're working another job. Because dudes who listen to this, they just think like, okay, dude, when I'm 25, dude,
Yeah.
we got that jet.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking.
Yeah.
We was talking
That's
about
an
this.
Instagram idea.
Yeah.
When I'm 29, I got that jet, bro.
Yeah.
And you 25, bro, and then you're like, damn, this is a fucking Honda
Yeah,
Civic.
I'm working at the Verizon store, dude. You need a phone?
We
Yeah,
talked
we're-
about this about talent expires, but grit continues. Like if you would have gave up, even if you're talented, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You grind through that 9. Now you're on another 5 on top of it, and it's literally obviously it's exploding currently.
Yeah.
And it's about to go. But that's when no one gets to, bro.
Well,
They
you know
just
what's
give up.
interesting, man, hearing you guys think about it. It's funny because I hadn't really thought about this in some of these senses. Like, you know, I did a Netflix special like 4 years ago, and it didn't go well. It was a great opportunity. It just didn't land how I wanted it to. I made some, you know, I shouldn't have maybe shot it in New Orleans where they didn't have a lot of comedy and people weren't doing it much, and the audience didn't know how to react. They didn't even know. They'd never been to comedy shows, so they don't know. Somebody was cheering.
flow.
Yeah, a lot of them was LSU fans. Somebody's cheering defense the whole show. Like,
It was forced. Is that what it felt
Yeah.
like?
bro, people don't know what the fuck was going on, dude. You know, some lady brought a baby there. She thought it was like, you know, I'm leaving this. Like, people don't know what the fuck was going on.
But in the
People didn't know
last
what was
4
going on.
years,
So it wasn't good. And that
Yeah.
part, at that moment, I remember being like, fuck, man, I lost my opportunity. Like, this was my big opportunity,
Yeah.
and I lost it.
Oh, you thought that platform and to the public that it would have been over from there.
Yeah, and it wasn't. And it was
No.
not only was it not over. I remember going to a show in Chattanooga like a month after it came out on Netflix, and nobody was there. And I thought it was going to be like sold out. And I remember some guy walked up, and I was outside of the venue, and he's like, "Man, what's going on? Or, what are you doing out here?" And I was like, "Oh, just, you know, waiting for everybody, you know, like." Just hanging out, you know, and he's like, "Oh man, I didn't think we'd get to see you, you know," And I was like, oh, you'll fucking get to see me. You one of the only ones. It's gonna.
We're about to have dinner.
Dude, hell, I'm gonna sit at your table and tell you the jokes. It's so bad in here. And there was like 7 people at the show, and it was just, and I felt still capable. And then that's when I really felt like, man, I really need to do something now to show. I got to double down on myself really here. If I still believe, at that point I really did believe in myself that I could do the comedy, you know. But it was a moment where I thought something and it didn't happen the way I wanted it to. And that for me was a really tough time, you know.
I got a quick question for you because you know, in business we always talk about branding. How do you brand a company? How do you give a company a personality? And one thing I've observed, I could be wrong, is it seems like what you've doubled down on and what you are amazing at is branding yourself as a comic through slang and specific words, even if the word is common, but the way you deliver it. And it seems like you grab these, you master them, you make them yours, and you keep adding. And to me, that's like, when I think of you and funny, I think of like an epic vocabulary that I can then take to my friends, and it spreads just like a brand's message spreads. If that makes sense. Is that something you consciously work on?
No, I think it's something that I just have fun with. Like, I like, you know, words. You know, growing up I didn't have that much, and so words were something that everybody had, and so I would manipulate them or do, you know, it was like a textile that I had that, you know, maybe I felt like, you know, richer kids had other stuff, you know, they could do, but I had words, you know.
That was
like,
cool.
Yeah, and they're mine. Everybody has them, and I'm gonna do something that you have that you can't. You have it too, but you can't do. You know, I need to manipulate something that you have as well, that we both have. I need a common ground, and it was like the only common ground that I could find. So I like doing it, and now I think some audience like expects it a little more, and I love puns and ridiculous shit like that, and so it's like a fun thing to mess around with words, and you know, and I've always liked them.
So we were having this conversation. So how much, like, and I will never say, you know, what was done last night, but how much is prepared and how much is improv? We were having that discussion before you got here.
Yeah, I would say probably it's about 90% prepared.
Okay.
You know, so this is like this
more than we thought.
Oh yeah, yeah. This tour will be yeah, and then whenever I do a different tour, it'll be a different
Set.
Okay. Yeah. So
That's
this
a lot of material.
So
Hell
this,
yeah, it's a
it
ton
is,
of
and I'm
material.
scared, man. Honestly, my biggest fear right now is just not knowing, you know, if God will give me other material to come through my head, or like, because some of it is your ideas, but some of it's like, you know, you're just a conduit for. I mean, I don't know. It depends. Where do ideas come from? You could go to that even, you know, like, are they ours or are they just from some other higher place, and then they're served into, you know, existence through us, you know? But so I'm worried that the well might run out, you know?
So I think what I could identify with more than anything, Theo, was you were talking about what's real to you, but that also everyone can identify. Everyone had those kids in school that did these. So I think it's so I think so I think it's
bro. That
I
boy
think it's
fucking
the
top.
fact that the brand of Theo and the way that you're presenting yourself matches up to the content, and people can identify in their own way.
Yeah.
And it makes it even more funny. And I think if you keep digging on that stuff that's so true to you, the well isn't gonna run out, bro.
Right.
In my opinion.
I'm gonna speak like.
No, I like hearing that, man. Yeah, because it's really a fear of mine. You know, it's kind of scary. It's like,
Of course.
you know, it's like somebody invites you, like you made a nice cake, and then somebody invites you over the next year to the pie party, and you fucking just. And you got the same cake from last year. You're like, damn.
It's the same
bro,
fucking
yeah, the
birthday
whole
cake.
year, where the fucking pie at? You know?
Go ahead.
Hey, I was just gonna say, like, in a pompous way, like I'm gonna state it as a fact. Like, no, it'll never run out, because that is your gift. That is your talent. Can you twist words? Can you do this? Can you make? Yeah, but your gift is taking reality, putting on a fucking eye patch, telling people to challenge it, and that shit don't stop. Because how long you been doing it? You said 15 years, and what's the you know, I always love to use analytics and numbers. Well, what's the trajectory of your career? How much are you making now? How many more people follow you? That is your gift. Just like everyone in this room has gifts that we nurse and we learn, and like, that's your shit. And I understand it being a fear, But bro, it ain't running out.
Yeah.
It ain't
Yeah.
running out, homeboy.
Man, I wish I lived closer. I'd come in here all the time, man. I appreciate some of these thoughts, and I appreciate even it's cool to think about it. Do you guys have like entrepreneurs and stuff on here all the time?
We don't ever have guests.
Really?
No, I was about to.
No.
We're starting to here and there.
Because I would be, I would
You're like
love
maybe like
to
the
hear
fifth
you
guest.
guys talk with like business owners. Just like I think it would just be fascinating.
We have.
Because y'all are all so different, you know. Like John, when we don't know. I mean, John is a fucking I can't even imagine. Bro. John's an assault rifle.
he comes off the top row,
Oh, dude.
bro.
He's
Comes
been
off
outlawed.
the top row.
Oh, bro, you think it's a tag team match, and then y'all brought a fucking third, bro.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And he jumped off like a 90-foot fucking
I'm here for the finish.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
my
That's what I'm here
nickname
You know
for
what I'm saying?
John
That's
is
it.
Jugular John.
Oh, yeah.
This motherfucker goes right. If you fuck with him, he goes right for your jugular. He don't
Bruh.
fuck.
It could be a 2-day-old baby, and John will fucking take
Two
the
teams.
jugular.
Two teams, my team or the other team. You know, that's it. That's how it goes.
That's why I signed up to be on John's team.
Dude, I had a fan last week somewhere I think we're in Omaha, and he's like, man, I love those business and bicep guys.
Yeah.
I said, dude, you got to fucking meet those dudes. I said, they're good. I said, and then something's wrong with John. That's exactly what I said, man.
They're good, and something's wrong with John.
I ain't arguing with that, baby.
Hey, you're not.
That's the special sauce. That's the special sauce. You know what I'm saying?
And something's
Hey,
it's
that's
Something's
what-
really wrong, and I know it.
That's what people always say when we see him in person. We're like, dude, I love the show, and like John, man, like at first he's like, and then I know he's right. And then it's like, cause he's saying some shit in the way, and then we're like, and I know he's speaking the truth. So they're listening. It's a great dynamic.
It's the subtle art, like Butt Life's book, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I don't ever give a fuck to a fault, okay?
Right.
But that's probably why you think I'm an assault rifle, you know?
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. He comes in hot, man, and that's the thing. It's like, you're one of the things that like, it's like, oh man, like why'd they put this fucking spice in here, you know? But then at the end, the shit's kind of clear your sinuses and shit. You're
exactly.
like,
That's the truth.
you know?
That's it washes it out.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's a rare taste, man. It's a rare taste, that John Fosco. So
Hey, so Theo, how many shows do you think that you've done? Like, what if you had to guess? Because I think this is part of what people listening don't realize about the craft, right?
Right.
They
Yeah.
talk about 10,000 hours. They talk about this, that. Like, how many shows, if you had to estimate, do you think you've actually done?
I don't know. I'll ask Ari to help me out. What do you think about Ari? How many shows that comics do in a week? And but how many does a comic do you think in a week? Maybe like honestly amount over time. Like if you had to even think about
Every day, once or twice, so maybe 10 a week.
maybe 10
For
a week.
years.
Wow.
Maybe 5 to 10 a week.
Okay, I'll do that.
That's
so, yeah.
the real grind.
So say if we said 7 sets a week over 15 years. I think that's a fair amount over the whole
Are you
of
serious?
everything. Because some weeks you'll do 13 sets, and then some weeks now you'll do
I didn't know y'all performed that much.
6. So whatever that is, 7 sets over
Jeremy's doing
15
it.
years. Yeah.
So
Jeremy, get us
what,
some
actually, what makes you feel creative?
That's good.
It's
You know-
5,000, is it?
460.
5,460.
That's a lot of shows.
Yeah, I would say maybe 5,000 is a safe bet.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. I didn't even know that. So it's interesting just to sit here and put numbers to something that I've done or that I've been a part of. What makes me feel creative?
Yeah, I just so I'm trying to tie it into like things we talk about, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Feel creative. You get into business. That's what spurs ideas. That's what brings new products. That's what brings the personality through. I think he does a great job bringing his personality through his work.
Absolutely.
And I'm just trying to figure like what makes a comic feel creative.
That's a good question, man. For me, I know it might be this weird thing I have in my head that's not real. I have a thing that if I can do good, if I can do something to help others, then I think that I will be allowed to continue to help myself.
Gotcha.
So if that makes any sense,
Yeah, add value to others.
yes. So I have this weird thing in my head that's my agreement with the world. So if I
It's
can
not
do
weird.
stuff to help others, then I'll continue to be blessed in some of the opportunities that I'm now having. And it's so funny how quickly I forget about all the years of the times that were really a lot tougher, than
Very easy.
yeah, it's so easy to. It's like I can't even remember the times that were really tougher, and now it is getting easier. And it's so quick how you even just adapt, and it's scary. Like you know, like even just on the airplane, like I'll usually get like a upgraded seat into business class, sometimes in first class, right? And it's so funny because the other day I got like the shittiest seat on the plane, bro. And suddenly I was like pissed about it, right?
Yeah.
And dude, it was
Yeah.
funny because I'd never felt that way, but I'd never felt like pissed about any seat on the plane.
Just got to
grateful.
be on that pitch.
So,
right?
and I wasn't grateful. Like I was, but it checked me for a second because it was like, I was like, part of my brain for a second was like, man, what the fuck, you know?
That entitled feeling.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really, it was kind of scary, and that made me kind of scared a little bit.
But you know, that's the secret sauce of life, right? So I fight that too, right? But the secret sauce of life is, and if you replay all of our podcasts, if you replay anybody who's had success, the fact that you feel like I got to add value to other people and make people smile and give people a gift or give people my services, I think that's the universal law of what
It is.
is brought back to you. I think that that's the way the universe gives you more of your gift.
Right.
But I think the people who are selfish and you just take, and there's nothing given to people, like rather, even when you're giving comedy to people, like giving all of yourself, emptying yourself with the intention to make people laugh or feel good.
Yeah.
I think that's how, you know, whether you want to say higher power, God, whatever it is, I think that's how it's brought back to you. And that's just my, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but that's like my
No,
deal.
I think when I did personal training back in the day, I used to remember like the clients would come in and I would say, if I can give my all to this person, they're going to become a walking billboard for me. They're only going to talk positive. So
Right.
they leave here and
Yeah.
I've impacted them life and built their confidence. And then when it transitioned to the internet, like 2010, I was like, if every tweet, every message, everything, I keep pouring, eventually there's just going to be thousands of people that you've had a touch with
Yeah.
that are only going to speak in a positive manner. I think it's just the way it works.
That's
man.
what y'all did last night.
Yeah,
Literally.
absolutely.
Like, I'm a walking billboard
We
for
ain't
y'all.
never laughed this much. Like
Yeah.
I mean, in here
Yeah.
we, but it was like constant
But just-
for both sets.
but-
Amazing.
Well, that's cool,
I
man.
told
I'm
all my
glad you guys
dudes,
did it.
so I'm like, man, I said, it's this dude. Of course, you know, brothers don't know Theo Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? So-
You might have been. I think we only had 3 in the whole building last night, and one of them honestly was in the back, man. He worked. But
but
so
like
it
that's
was
how the
good.
message spread. I was like, man, y'all got to see this shit, right? But
Thank you.
Just dead serious.
One thing I want to say
I
to
appreciate that, Maurice.
what you said, Theo, is like you say you have something in your head that you don't know if you create it or what. We were talking about on a podcast like 2 weeks ago. I think anybody that's successful or driven, like they create these doomsday scenarios, these challenging scenarios, these fearful scenarios, because that's what keeps you self-motivated. We can't rely on other motherfuckers to motivate us every day. We can turn on Tony Robbins and
Wow.
feel good for an hour,
Right.
right? But we all create the world on our shoulders, like I'm sure Bill Belichick does to the Patriots. That's why those motherfuckers win every game.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what almost keeps us honest with our skill, because after, you know, for example, I made some money, I sold a business, I could be like, I'm good, but it's like that's not good enough. I have a gift, and if I'm going to steward this gift and grow this gift, I have to be the one who puts my foot on the gas. I can't look to other fucking people. And I, just like you, feel that like, shit, how am I going to keep doing this? How am I going to move this business here? How am I going to create another one here? But like, I think that is a trait of all successful people. We create fictional scenarios.
Yeah, we create. Yeah, that's interesting, man. Damn, bro, this shit is interesting. Yeah, we create
We're
stuff
provoking some thought today.
because we need it. Yeah, maybe we need it because we won't. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting idea that, yeah, we create it because we have to find some way to keep our own fire going, and we know that. And maybe we're not going to be able to get it from external sources because we never, maybe at times we never really have.
No, but I don't think an external source makes it pure.
Right.
Like I think the constant process of just unfolding yourself. Like I just think like Theo Vaughn, like I
Yeah.
think all things that you've been to this point has built and allowed you to steward this moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the truer you stay to that, and it continues to unfold. Theo continues just to bring more out of him.
Yeah.
And bring that to the world. And that's why I said, man, you should. I don't know how you can press on the gas, but you press on the gas and just keep on making that light bigger or making that moment bigger for what you have right now.
Yeah.
Bro, that's something special that you can bring to the world.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
telling. I'm being serious.
No, I believe you, man. And honestly, it means a lot coming from you. You know.
Man, fuck it coming from me. I'm just talking about like I was like I see this shit. I was like, yo, this motherfucker needs. I don't know how you increase what you do on the internet, increase your platform, tour more,
Reese loves the
see
internet.
people more. Y'all
Yeah.
love the internet too.
Yeah, he loves it.
No, but
Yeah.
We
you
all,
loves
it
it.
is. It's the marketplace these days. It's
Absolutely.
it's our town square is the internet in a lot of ways.
absolutely.
And it's not going to change. People think that's going to go back to like, we'll have some interaction, but it is where we are now. But no, I appreciate that, man, and it does mean a lot coming from you because you have a deeper well of emotional wealth and and perspective that I think is, it's so much deeper than so many other people, and I think I hope you recognize that about you. I always
Totally get it. Yeah.
yeah, but it does mean a lot coming from you, man.
No, I just don't take compliments right.
Yeah, I don't either.
I just
Okay, well, why do you think that is,
No,
man?
I'm scared. Like to be, I'm scared myself to be what I used to be. So when I used to feel myself, and I was like this great
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
and I was like this character. So right, like so there's a scary part, right? You could become this character and be famous and believe that you have to live up to all these expectations, right? So it's easier for me just to take the humble role, and I just take all those expectations off of me,
Yeah.
right? And that way, that keeps me out of like feeling like I'm too important. So there was a time where I'm like the biggest thing going on, and everybody loves me, and you can buy into the first class hype, to everybody sucking your dick, and everybody kissing your ass.
That's not a
And you
bad
can
part.
lose yourself. You can 100%
Oh,
lose
yeah.
yourself. Like we could be talking to Theo right now, and do you buy into? Like you're probably like one of the most vain places in the world.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Oh, it's
you
the
can-
worst, man. It's hard, and yeah, that's what's scary. Is I'm so scared of especially being or having addiction in my family and dealing with addiction. Like I'm scared of the part of me that will gravitate, that will want to fuck up, or want to just
Listen to me, 1,000,000%. So right, when I feel like I'm the man on top of the world,
right. I don't want to feel that.
Listen to me, you get this euphoria, right? What did I used to do? I used to drink, drug, smoke blunts, pop pills, and it would feel good, but it ruined my fucking life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I don't let too many people. I shield compliments, or I block them, or I let them slide by. I don't want to become that person.
Stiff arm them.
Yeah, stiff.
Baptize 'em.
Oh, dude, Maurice just stiff arm fucking compliments. But no, I feel you, man, because I have a tough time accepting compliments, and so when you said that, I'm like, oh, it's interesting. I wonder why we do that.
But at some point, so I'm not an entertainer, right? So, but I think in the entertainment industry, having the ability to grab that moment, right? I feel like there's a lot for the taking. Like you got a great skill, right? And so there's an arrogance that has to come to say, okay, motherfucker, I'm the one. So that like, so you can't be great unless you have that. Right. Unless you say, okay, fuck everybody who's in my space, and not like in a bad way.
Healthy
like, fuck
ego.
you.
Healthy
Healthy
ego.
ego,
No,
right?
you thought you were the best back that year.
I used to say it, right, but to a detriment where I didn't have the character
Gotcha.
to uphold everything that comes with it. Because when you become super successful, a bunch of uninvited expectations come with it.
Sure. Yeah.
And then a bunch of accessories come with it. Women, drugs, parties, things that you necessarily didn't put on your schedule.
You can't forecast that
Nah,
shit.
but it's entertaining. It feels good. You know what I'm saying?
And you feel like the man, so.
Yeah,
But it
but
could
I
be-
think part of being grateful when you have a elite skill is knowing that if you do have a drug addiction, like I know you had, I had, and I
I'm in.
believe you had. Yeah,
Said
you're
you
in.
in.
Yeah,
And Corey's on
yeah.
fucking what, pre-workout?
Yeah,
To the dome, bro.
Bro, how many grams you got in your system right now, dog?
Hey, I can't even make it through security at the airport, bro.
I know, bro. They fucking, they frisked that dude. They fucking tested positive for creatine 2000. That dude breath smell like
They
Winstrol.
did. Hey, that's a whole nother story,
His
but
breath
they
smell
did.
like Deca, bro. His breath smell like Test 400.
Hey.
That's 400. Last night it was
No,
200.
no
Today it's
steroids here,
400.
bro. No steroids.
Yeah, Winstrol to the neck, Yeah. No, but I think it's reminding yourself of the blessings you have every day. I don't like to take victory laps and say, oh, I did this, oh, I accomplished that, oh, I sold out the funny bone. But it's like you got to take yourself back and remind yourself of those days, because when you fucking do, and listen, I want to pop perks every night. I tell you
Yeah.
guys, every fucking night, because once you're an addict, it's not like getting high don't feel good. It's fucking epic.
Absolutely.
Dude, and there's pussy everywhere and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But that will take away everything I've fucking built.
Right.
You know, what I'm doing for my family. Like,
Yeah, that's
in-
the other
in a
side of the
second,
scale.
bro.
That's the
In a
other side of the
second.
scale.
But-
So we
go
all
ahead.
feel it, though, and we all fight it. So how do you fight it? You remind yourself that you had fucking 200 people screaming for you last night. You got 6 shows here, and you're going out to another city, and you're living your dream. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. You know?
I think one
Yeah,
thing
no, I think healthy ego, it's really, I'm glad I just heard that term because I need to hear it. And yeah, for me, I try and go to more meetings. I go to AA meetings, because that reminds me, that other people's lives, other people's struggles. I see people, in a regular space. I went and read, and spoke at this panel the other night at like this endangered women's center, and it was crazy, man. You got, 12 women all living in this house, and some of them have kids, and they're all like, and it just really
Keeps you grounded.
It did, and it made me. And actually, in the beginning, I felt a little nervous, but then by the end, I felt at home, and so I was like, just grateful to even have that feeling, like, okay, everything will be okay if I just stay right here.
But what I hear everything you're saying, and I agree with you, and I like even with you saying that I go do speaking engagements where I literally don't get paid for them, right?
Yeah.
And I consciously do them just to remember, like Reese, stay connected to just regular shit and give back to people,
Yeah.
and not make everything transactioning or just purposely given to people I know, right? But there's a moment I feel that when you're trying to go become who you become, right? Because I've done it, right? That you have to like grab it and say, this is mine, right? And know it's for you. And that's the gift that God gave you. So you can't suppress that.
And how do you do that, do you feel like? You just...
How do you do it?
Just by...
Asserting yourself more in that space.
I see.
Like, so, all right, motherfucker, I got a talent. All right, you got a talent. All right, motherfucker, in my head, I'm better than you, right? I'm going to kick your ass with more jokes. I'm going to kick your ass with more material. I'm going to double down with preparing for this shit. I'm going to work
Healthy
hard.
competition.
I'm going to look on where were people laughing at. I'm going to get this fucking film. When I'm walking across stage and doing jokes, this is how people felt. This was hitting people. And then I know this motherfucker's not working hard as me, so I'm going to double down with putting more shit on the internet. I'm going to go fucking YouTube. I'm going to put my fucking face in your face so fucking much to where every motherfucker, black, white, Hispanic, everybody knows Theo Vaughn. That's emptying yourself. That's taking the most out of you and be like, this is what God gave me. This is my gift to the world. And then surrounding yourself or having the people be like, okay, but this is also how I stay grounded within all that. But I think people cheat the world when you don't get the most out of your gift.
100%. And I think in your situation, the place you're in, I would imagine it's fucking hard to do, although I agree with what you just said, it's hard to do what he just said because your homies and your peers, yeah, maybe they ain't talking about it, but trust me, they want to beat you. They want to have a bigger following. They want to fill fucking Carnegie Hall. They want to go to stadiums. They're always going to be your boy, but they want to fucking beat you. So it's okay that you want to beat them, and there's nothing unhealthy about that or wrong about that, bro. Listen, me and him, we met because I owned a marketing agency, and he was running Muscle Farm. Like, I wanted to beat him on every fucking deal that we did. Every deal. But listen, we found a way to get together, and once we sold off our piece of those business, we became partners. But there was a fucking healthy competition. I wanted to maximize my dollar. So all your dudes, they're your fucking dudes. But don't kid yourself. They're watching your Instagram, and they're saying, oh, Theo's at 530,000 now. Fuck, I'm not moving as quick as him. That's how it is, dude, whether you like it or not.
Just the world we live in
But
right now.
I mean, that's
I guess, and I need to think about that. I need to think about healthy competition. And
it can be positive.
right,
Theo.
because I'll get these things in my head like everything in my head sometimes will come in and I'll feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying?
Feel bad about what?
Just like even if it's like business stuff, like about like, oh, I'm going to try and be better than this person, or I'm going to try to,
they don't feel that way, Theo.
Right.
I'm gonna make Theo feel uncomfortable real quick.
And I need to remember that some things are business, and it's not it's not a personal
at all.
It doesn't reflect who you are personally.
The business is business, right?
Right.
But you'll be a fool to think he doesn't want to be where you at.
Exactly,
And y'all rolling
bro.
together, right? But there's nothing. But that's not the.
Theo staring him down.
what I'm saying?
Look at him. He's blushing. He's blushing right now. You see it?
Yeah.
Sneaky, bro.
Listen to me, but here we go. But like, so there's nothing wrong with it, right?
Right.
He doesn't wish bad on you.
Oh yeah,
Somebody
I used to
wants
see guys.
to-
Yeah,
somebody
a
wants
year
your
ago,
spot,
I was
bro.
looking at guys. I was looking at guys like Chris D'Elia and guys who are I still look up to in a lot of ways because they have so much experience and stuff. And be like, man, I can't imagine that guy really is. He's doing it. He's getting to do it. and lucky him, and will I ever be able to have some of those opportunities? Yeah, so I was definitely jealous, and I still probably am, and maybe that is a healthy jealousy,
What is a jealousy? What makes you jealous? We were talking about this the other day.
Or maybe it's an admiration, I don't know. That's a good question. What is a jealousy and what is an
It's
a difference between I want that and fuck him for having what I want.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I think jealousy is fuck him for having what I want, but being competitive is saying I want
You can
that.
aspire and
yeah,
be
maybe it was
competitive.
more an aspiration,
For sure.
So let me ask you this. So
That's a good question, though. What is the difference between a jealousy and an aspiration? And and we should think about those things sometimes, and know. Damn,
Absolutely.
y'all should have people on here all the time. This is interesting. Do you think it's interesting?
Motivation.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what we do.
So you got a new show with Schaub, right? King
Yeah,
and the
we got a new
Sting.
show, King and the Sting. Yeah.
So I'm flying solo here. I've listened to 2 episodes. They're really funny. They're really
Yeah.
good.
Thanks, man.
I'd say 90% of the reason it's really good is you.
Right.
And I feel like when you're hitting punchlines, he pops the balloon purposely.
Yeah. Oh, you think?
I know. No, I know, because when someone's rolling and shit,
Sean.
listen, shit, and when
Wow!
listen,
He right down
straight,
the punch.
straight talk. I'm speaking from my own, not business.
Yeah, it's
myself.
fine.
When someone's rolling, obviously as a listener, you can feel it. And I know when you're setting up that joke about that boy back home, and then boom, like his word will just cut it off, and it'll take away your ability to drop the hammer and boom,
Yeah.
and do that gender neutral haircut deal.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So good.
so that
So
right
That
there.
GNC, baby, that gender neutral cut.
Yeah, so that right there is competition. So you're a smart guy. You're probably aware, but that dude, you guys may be partners because he's got a good following. You got a good following. But that dude wants to outshine you every show. Straight talk wireless, brother.
Right.
Every show.
We're getting them as a
Kick his
sponsor.
ass because I think you are kicking his ass. And if you guys put that on the table, like, hey, bro, I'm gonna beat you today, and I'm gonna fucking beat. The show is gonna elevate. You're both gonna win. You're both. He's trying to do it. He's just not telling you, and you're probably not comfortable fucking.
He's an ex-pro
putting it on the
athlete,
table.
bro.
That's
That's
true.
the deal.
He is an ex-pro athlete.
You know that we do the same thing. We all know that in our segments we have to bring it because I know John's going to bring it. I know Mo's going to bring it.
But I think we started there, though.
Yeah, we're healthily competing
We were telling
for the
people,
show.
I want to do better than you.
Yeah.
I see.
Right.
But it's
Straight
not.
up.
It's not a bad thing because that brings the best out of everybody. But so, prime example. He talking just reminded me when I was playing football to tell people like, bro, I want to be better than you. Like for Ari to
Don't
say,
let me
hey,
on the field.
motherfucker, I want to be better than you. So it just primes you to say, I'm taking everything, motherfucker. Go follow that motherfucker. Like he should be stepping on that stage and saying, fuck you, motherfucker. You follow
Right.
that.
Well, he does do that actually now. I didn't realize this, man.
It was good last night.
Well, before the show, I even had it on my Instagram. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going up, and you're not going to be able to. You got to go after me. Good luck." That's what he
Hey.
says. And I'm like, "This dude's out of his fucking mind."
Hey, give me your
bro.
There
IG
you
before
go.
leave, all
There
right?
it is.
Yeah.
That's
No,
funny,
my fault.
man.
Back to John.
No, I like this though. I like the idea of the healthy competition. And I never thought about that. For some reason, it makes me feel. I don't know, man. I get my feelings involved in it too much.
Can.
And
What do you feel that's uncomfortable? Because obviously I can see it in your face. Like, what do you feel that makes it uncomfortable?
I feel like if I say that I'm being competitive, that they're gonna think that, that I'm a bad person or that I don't care about them.
But why would you care?
You got raising the bar. That's what you're
So
pushing.
here we go, right?
Putting out a better product.
I told these guys one thing in prison, right? They say, if you allow it, you deserve it. Right? So if you allow somebody to impose that on you and you put these thoughts on your head that this is happening, you deserve to stay where you're at. Well, maybe you're not fit for the bigger light.
Right.
Right? And being uncomfortable, having those uncomfortable situations. Ray Dalio, he had a book, right, from Bridgewater, right? They had the largest hedge fund in world history. And he said one thing in business, right, because you're in a business, he said the number one thing that he would give advice for in business is to have hard conversations fast. And he said if he could go do everything over in his career, he would actually do that. And I feel that if having that hard conversation fast, and maybe that's your maturation process as an adult, like say, hey, I got to motherfucking stand up and just say, hey, this is what I want. Because the top, like to like be at the fucking top, bro, you can't have like a weak attitude. Right, that takes a whole
I'm starting
different.
I'm starting to imagine what that would be like.
What the fuck are you out here for?
Yeah.
Like, are you going to the fucking funny bone to be second best? Like, am I about to really fucking get on the road and fly? I don't know how many miles on the plane from fucking L.A. to here. Am I sleeping in these fucking
Through
hotels?
Atlanta.
But like, what am I here for? You feel I'm coming from?
Outcast.
Like, why the fuck
No,
are we
I
doing
love
this?
that. It's true. Yeah.
It's that underdog mentality, even when you're ascending to the top.
Right.
I think that's kind of like that sixth man that I'm behind. I still got to push.
But no, I love what am I doing this for? And yeah, like even just thinking about asking myself that, like am I getting on here just to, like finding those things? Yeah, I mean, no, man, this is good stuff because I think some of these things kind of run in the back of my head, but to embrace them and say like, what is my destiny and what do I want to, can I be successful and not be greedy and not be a bad person?
Success.
But you're never greedy if
Go
you're
ahead.
taking your fucking talent and
Yes, sir.
projecting it at its highest
Yes, sir.
level. I don't give a fuck who it makes uncomfortable. If Brendan's uncomfortable because you are fucking
No, he's
funnier than
fine.
than-
Well, he may be, but
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he is.
Right.
But what I'm saying is here's a bad look for Theo Vaughn and all the hard work he's put in. So you got a new show. If this dude keeps stepping on you, if he does theoretically, when you're dropping those fucking hitters, that's going to make the listener say like, man, yeah, I listen to the show for Schaub. Because your greatness is being kind of pushed on because you're allowing it. You're allowing it.
Yeah.
Sure, he may be doing it, but you could stop it. You're a man. It's not like a fist fight's going to happen, but
Yeah.
a serious talk can. And then the show becomes better for the listener because you're fucking funny. But if I can't feel your punchline,
yeah,
man, I'm gonna check out another podcast.
Yeah, no, well, look, I appreciate you bringing that up. I mean, and I'll keep tabs if I feel like that occurs, I mean, there's moments where, like, the other day I went in there and I was not feeling good and I didn't want to do anything. And Brendan is, like, extremely charming. A lot of people tune in. He's, like, this kind of big, like, lovable kind of, character. And people love him, And so I was grateful that day for his energy because I needed it to get through the
picked you up.
episode. Yes, and I was just so
That's a
grateful
good
that
partnership.
Yeah, I don't want to dog him. I was just using that as an
No,
example.
and I respect it. I think, look, I'll say this, man. Like, that's a fucking brave example to present, and I respect you presenting it because it's a real example, and it puts it in a place where it's a lot easy for me to examplize than
Examplize.
than hypothetical.
Write that one down, Butler.
But what were we talking about, though? We were talking
But like,
about.
is that a real solo cup he's drinking out of?
Yes. Would you like one?
Bro, he looks like the shittiest DJ back there.
At least he got Vanderlei Silva behind him.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
But no, I love it, man. You look
DJ
like Rob Gronkowski's fucking illegitimate child a little bit, doesn't he?
DJ
I'm just being
Gronk.
mean
DJ
to-
Gronk.
But he's so young, I can be mean to him.
What were you saying, Mo?
It was something that you said I was about to pick up on. Now I really wanted to hear him like even flesh that out. Like, what the fuck are you doing it for? Like, am I like when I went to go play football, or I go fight in the UFC, or I go play basketball? Like, nobody sits back and be like, man, fuck, I can't wait to be the seventh man on the team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I keep on like deferring to him. Like, I can't wait to just be an opener forever.
I can't wait to make $100
I
bucks,
I want
bro.
to be. I want to be an
Shit.
open, like. You don't want to be a fucking opening act forever.
You got $9,000 in your bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So Ari's a hustle, dude. Ari,
Yeah.
while he comes on the road with me, he Airbnbs his house while he's out of town.
There we
bro.
go.
Hustler.
Yeah.
Oh, he makes his roommate sleep in his fucking car because the roommate pays him rent, so the roommate has to sleep out of the place. So
his
he can
first name's
Airbnb.
Ari. I knew the guy was
Amen,
tactful.
bro.
Okay.
That's it, dude.
That's amazing.
That's that business, bro.
Yeah.
But
Like,
it's
is
funny.
there- like,
I
is
think
there?
I think there's part of me that
I'm trying to tap into the ego.
Yes.
no, it's interesting. I think I'm afraid. I
Afraid
think
to say it?
Yeah, I think I'm afraid to say it because I don't want to. It's interesting. I'm trying to feel what it is, when you're asking me. So I really am trying to get like to a real.
This is therapeutic services with me.
Yeah, no, and I love it.
Yeah.
And I love it, man. That's what I love about you, man.
So
And I
good.
don't know if you have. I don't even know, and you may know it very well. To me, it was immediately obvious that you have such a gift at a level to be able to comfortably. I don't know. You can just you're able to put things on. Like an emotional level that's very real to people. Like your consulting services, I think could be invaluable to people.
Okay, there we go.
He's so-
we
he's so
talking about
artic-
let's
Yeah.
Hey, Theo, look, Theo just is so to the listener.
There we go. We're gonna rip that
just
clip, yeah.
we just talked about consulting services.
Yeah.
I told
That's our
you.
new. That's
Yeah.
our
So
new
it's-
Instagram ad.
Motherfuckers keep hitting us up on IG. Hey, can we talk about this? And Mo's like, fuck that. I'm gonna start charging. I'm like, that's a good idea. I got like 10 calls. I gotta make it. These fucking people.
He delivers things so articulate.
Yeah.
And so smooth, and that's why I always talk about how these guys don't have very many friend openings.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard, Theo,
I
to
can
be
imagine.
friends with either of these two guys. I
But
take
with
a
the
lot
emotional ability, but to connect the emotional side to it too, it's just such a powerful thing, man.
I'll play this. Well, so part is experience, but then I own a counseling agency. So I deal with therapists and people who talk like this. So right, if I hang around y'all two all day, I'm gonna be funnier than I will 3-4 years later.
Right.
Just from language, conversation, being around motherfuckers who funny. I literally have people who talk like this all day, and the whole purpose is to like tap into social and emotional learning, right?
Yeah.
So like just therapeutic services, what are you getting out of you? What services are we trying to administer to you? Like tapping into yourself, cognitive ability, how do you process information? And so in the like greatness is a process, and I've reached it before, but I also believe that it's a system that you can work and become who you want to become.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be the first time you'll ever reach it, because I've been around a lot of those people just through therapy and stuff over the years, and my brother, running counseling and stuff, and I mean, for you though, and I mean this really, man, I think you're one of the best I've ever seen, man.
Well, we're not going to deflect, and we're going to go right back to you. Right?
Yeah.
So look,
Hey, he's got strategy. He may not want to come at it head on. He's got some strategy right here, buddy.
What is
Get back to the point, Joe.
I love it.
Hey, look.
I love it.
It's a good question, and I want to think. I'm going to figure it out right now. So what
Come
is
on,
it?
let's flush
do
it out.
Let's
Yeah.
flush it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm afraid sometimes to admit that I want to be, really good at my job. Okay? I think I'm afraid to admit it. Let me think about why I'm afraid to admit it.
Because it makes you accountable. Because then if you say it and you don't reach it, people are like, yeah, you're just running your mouth.
So that could be it. It could be fear. It could be fear that I'm not going to be able to do the work to back up what it would take to achieve it.
So here we go. But do you get up every day and do the work?
I think that I do now, yeah.
So you can take that fallacy out your mind and remove that.
Yeah, I do work hard.
I think coming from the humble
I
beginnings,
think I'm afraid
man,
to be proud of myself. I'm afraid to. I don't know what it is. It's funny because I'm right
Say-
there thinking
say
about
that.
Yeah,
You're
I think
afraid
I'm
to be proud
afraid
of
to be.
yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm afraid to be proud of myself.
Yeah,
you know?
I think you're
That's-
worthy of it,
that's
Theo. That's what I used to have to work through. Like where I grew up and the things that I kind of had is like I was like, am I worthy of this type of success?
Yeah, it could be that. It could be like.
And
yeah,
it's like an internal blueprint that we grow up with if we come from those type of situations. And I don't know, just speaking for me, I had to like break through it, and say, nah, motherfucker, it can happen to me.
Yeah.
I can be this guy.
Yeah, I think
can
also
take it.
growing up, like I didn't like people. Like I think I thought that like rich people or fancy people, they didn't like me, and so I think that I always kind of like, I just don't want to become somebody that's like out of touch with the person who wouldn't care about the kid that I was when I was young or something like
Feel
that.
that.
Maybe something in
You
there.
don't want to become the person who will become out of. Say that again. I just want to make sure I heard it right.
Like I don't want to become somebody that would drive past like the kid. Like they used to have rich people that like they had a neighborhood past our neighborhood that was like a rich neighborhood, and a lot of rich people would drive through there all the time. And so they would just drive right by, like it was like I don't know, like something was wrong with us, And so I felt that, I think, I felt like, oh, something's wrong with us, like those, I don't know, they had tinted windows, but no speakers, you know what I'm saying? Rich people.
So here we go. Right. Well, why wouldn't you tell the different story in your head? Because everybody's a product of what they tell themselves, right?
Right.
And the story that you live out in your head. Like, why wouldn't you tell yourself, why not me? Why not I get that platform and become successful and then be an example to people who come from situations like me? Because that's how I play my story, right? I used to feel that way about people who were super successful, and I would feel like a resentment or they had more than me. But then I was like, I'm going to make it being myself to show motherfuckers that, you know where I'm coming from?
The one thing,
Yeah, I feel it sometimes. Sometimes I do feel that. Sometimes I feel that. But I think, there's this like deeper kind of template or something or blueprint, like you said, that is that has a. I don't know. I mean, this is
Has a
interesting
grip.
because I hadn't really, hadn't been able to sometimes you can think about things and feel them at the same time, you know, and that's when it's the best for me because I can really learn in
You
those
align.
moments. Yes, and I'm. This is the closest I've ever gotten to kind of thinking about some of that. Like, do I get afraid to, you know, say like I'm good at this? I guess I'm afraid that. I guess I'm afraid of what people think of me. You know, I'm afraid of that people will think that I'm, you know, better than them. You know, like I don't want anybody to think that I'm. You know, I don't want to think that I'm better than somebody.
But okay, so let me ask you this.
Because in a healthy way, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to, because I don't want to ever look at somebody and think I'm better than them because I feel like maybe people used to look at me like that. You know.
So let me throw out a thought. So I think life is a process of understanding or getting to the point that you're not competing with anybody, you're competing with yourself, and bringing the most out of yourself is ultimately the purpose. So I guess the way you're processing it, like I want to be better than you, maybe it could be easier if it's like I just want to be the best me. So when I'm talking like, hey, I'm getting to Madison Square Garden, that's hey, Krista, whoever. That's just me wanting to be the best me, bro. I hope you keep killing it, but I'm gonna get mine.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe we could work together. But like being the best you doesn't mean, you know, telling someone else I'm gonna fucking put you down.
Right.
But I think also after hearing him talk, I think he's doing a lot of assuming, right? He's assuming that somebody would think, like that's a whole hypothetical situation, is like to assume.
Yeah, I do a lot of that for some reason.
Yeah, but you're not living in reality. So we talk about a lot on this platform, like to live in reality, nothing real can be threatened, nothing not real exists, right? So all of these illusions that you create for yourself impose feelings, and now you
Wait, start over that part again. Sorry.
So I stole it. This is not my. Let me just be clear and transparent, right? I read a lot, right? So
Yeah.
when I was in prison, I read A Course in Miracles, and I still listen to the audiobooks, right? And the basis of the book is nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists, right?
Okay.
And so these illusions or these assumptions from somebody that you think that people will have on you, you're taking and putting real feelings on yourself, right? And so you're functioning up under a
False pretenses.
false pretenses, right?
Yeah.
Of a reality that just doesn't exist.
Yes.
It
And
creates,
Wow.
it creates a ceiling that is hard to punch through.
so,
Theo.
so now I'm walking and unfolding Theo up under, like with a bad engine, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it comes to a point where you have to accept. Maybe the hardest thing to accept is in life, all you can do is what you can do. You can never, no matter how bad you try, whether it's your girlfriend or your peers, you can't control what other people think. So spending even a second, I told these guys, I don't give a fuck what Maurice thinks or Corey thinks. All I know is I'm committed to giving them all of myself.
Yeah.
But I'm here to win. And I hope we can win together, but I don't care what they think because I know I'm going to do the best I can do to be a friend, business partner, or whatever I need to be. So I can't think about what Mo thinks of me. I don't know what Mo thinks of me, and I don't care because I know I treat him well.
Yeah, I guess, and this is really interesting, man. I don't know if, I think the assumed thing is, it's like, I don't even know if I'm thinking in a specific sense, like what Mo thinks of me and what Corey thinks of me and what John thinks of me and, what beautiful little Jeremy fucking thinks of me. But I think about, like, it's like this invisible kind of thing, I guess I'm,
It's like an umbrella thought.
No,
Yeah.
he's functioning from it's trauma.
Yeah.
So what he has is it's like subtle trauma from childhood because he keeps on referring back to his childhood.
Right, but we haven't
It-
heard the whole story.
Yeah. So something affected me as a child.
yeah, I
How
don't even
somebody-
know what it was. It was just it was just something that affected me at a deeper level where it lives below a level that I can access
Were you
easily.
abused by your mother or father?
I don't think so. Maybe some, but nothing like, but it's just some other thing. Like, it's nothing I could pinpoint.
No, it's poverty. So
Yeah.
everything that I think he said was like white and black people living in a lower socioeconomic area.
Yeah.
Somebody having more money.
Sure.
Yeah, it made me feel
something.
ashamed of myself, I think it made me feel like really ashamed of myself, and then it makes me feel like, I think sometimes I feel like maybe like, I always had this invisible chip in me somewhere that God didn't want me to do anything, or they didn't make me to do anything.
But that's a lie you tell yourself.
Exactly.
Right, but so then I and I'm just thinking this now because I hadn't thought about this before, that if I do something, then it like goes against kind of this thing I'd always been invisibly living, if that makes any sense.
So you have like a
This idea.
self-defeating internal prophecy that regardless of
and lives it out.
the reality that you're seeing, the sold out shows, the agents, you're on a pilot, all these fucking dreams that you worked fucking 15, that's the reality, that's real. But this fairy tale that's fucking you in your ass, you're letting it live in you.
Yeah, I got to tighten that up, I think, a little more, you know. And I think maybe this is why I'm here today, even to just have this conversation and think about some of
Like
this
the
stuff.
universe put you in a chair.
Yeah.
Unravel some
It's a
stuff.
nice chair.
Is it?
No, it's a piece
Not
of shit.
really. We actually got rid of those chairs and came to these chairs.
And actually, I got the fourth nicest fucking chair in the room. I do notice that.
That's fucked up.
But no, this is
It's like the airline seat.
yeah, I got to come back and talk about it again. So for my listeners that are going to come over, because it's really interesting, man. I appreciate you helping me think about it, because I know you have experience in that place, Mo, and Corey, you're so caring, and John, and so
Every time this fucking guy.
Hey, I got a question,
Every
Theo,
time this
about.
motherfucker.
I want to ask about the edginess of the content, because I don't know if that's natural or if that was like you've said some things out there for any of you guys. It's like, when he said in his set, he was like, somebody in the first set or in the first row goes, jeez, like, or it was you that said like you hear that response where like it's like right at the edge. It's Fosco level, right? Where
Yeah.
people are like, he really just say that? Like, is that like an art that you had to do as a comic, or does it come natural? And if you ever put stuff together, you're like, it's like a gay
Chest
joke, or
bumping
you were
the
talking,
AL.
like whatever you're throwing out there. There's a lot of those in your set that are like,
yeah, it's a little tough moments. Well, my cousin he got bit by a gay guy,
exactly.
on Halloween. And I feel like, but if people say, if you say that it's anti-gay, and it's like, well, that's who bit him, man. It's fucking who bit him.
That's just reality.
And if a straight guy bit a gay guy, people would be up in arms,
Yeah,
But they
you're
got
right.
some
That should be
guy-
on CNN.
Well, it just should be fair. My thing is, I just want things to be, and maybe I just assume things are fair all the time, but I just want things to be fair. But there's definitely something inside of comedians, and Ari can attest to this, where like, it's like you tell a joke and then they got this other little devil in you that's like, let's put the joke right over there.
Yeah.
Like, because it's the only place that fucking makes me like,
I see the way he's lighting up
But
right
it's,
now.
It's devious in a good way.
Yes, I gotta entertain me too. Like if
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this so much, I gotta have a moment in there where it's like it needs to be fucking uncertain.
But
I love
I
that.
feel like this. I was literally brushing my teeth this morning. I said, man, I was like, thinking about this as a comedian. I've never thought about this.
Yeah.
I said, you get paid to make motherfuckers laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like out of all shit you do, like I get paid to like make motherfuckers laugh. Like that got to be like
And it's
like
so
just a
needed.
cool moment. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
every
he
day.
reminded me yesterday. It's pretty true.
Like just think about that. Like I'm paid to make motherfuckers laugh. Like to feel good. Like the purest shit in the world. Like no cars, no Lamborghinis, no fucking Ferraris, like nothing else. I'm in the room with people. And then when you think about it, like when we always talk about like in the age where everything is about a phone and everything is about everything else, like I'm in the room and we can like
Right.
experience that whole thing together.
Yeah.
And like I have
Just
that
like
like I have that command. Like I think it's like there's something beautiful about that. Like that's like whoever created the spotlight. Like I don't know who created comedy shows or comedy clubs. Like, but to have everybody come in a moment
Yeah.
and be like
somewhere in ancient Greece.
somewhere,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That we can put a series of motherfuckers to make people laugh. I think it's the coolest shit.
That's cool, man. No, and it's just good to hear like that, and just be reminded because, for recently the past couple years, my goal, it used to be about me when I went on stage. I was angry. I felt like I had something to prove. And then in the past 2 years, it became more like, I want to make people have fun. Like my job is to be here and make these people have fun and remember what my job was. And I think even just hearing you say that, it's good to just be reminded, like, it is a fun experience for everybody, and it's not really a stressful experience. I think, with recently things getting more busy, I've just had a lot more fear and a lot more anxiety and a lot more like, just nervous energy and just uncertainty, and some of that's been carrying over into the evening where I'm just, I'm too wrapped up still in the day, and I'm having to become more of a businessman, which is scary.
Yeah, the
I was just-
transition's happening.
Yeah. How do you
It's very
feel about
different.
that, man? As you grow, like dealing with agencies and obviously producers, direct, like is that overwhelming because you have to develop some sense of business acumen, be it through someone you trust
Yeah,
or
now
on
you
your
have
own?
to. Now you have to. I think it's fun because I didn't realize I would be into it. it makes me think like I would love to develop like a children's channel, because I have 2 nephews, and it'd be interesting to be able to experiment like little shows for them and see what makes kids laugh and maybe learn at the same time.
Yeah.
And I know I'll have kids one day, so it makes me think, well, that would be like a future place where I could still be creative in, and it makes me think about. You start to think more about, like merchandise and like what can we do to, better serve the fan base? What can we do to give back? But it becomes bigger. Then you're like, okay, now I can't be thinking all day about what can we do for outreach or to give back. I need to hire somebody who I trust to think about this, but then you got to onboard them. You got to get them acclimated and fit them into what works best for you. And that stuff is just a lot, and then you still got to think about your touring, and then you still got to think about, am I going to be too tired if I do this many weeks in a row? And then you're shooting, now doing this television pilot, and then you got to show up to the TV pilot and not be thinking about any of that and just focus on what's going on. And
You got to get a whiteboard.
yeah.
I'm telling you. So I'm saying no.
I was going to say, do you have a right-hand man
Mo, send
that
the
can
one.
screen everybody
Yeah,
else?
yeah.
And this guy comes with the whiteboard life.
No, as he's talking, so like,
organized
so
thoughts.
as he's talking, right? So
yeah.
so I can't. I'm not a comic
Yeah.
or a comedian, but I've literally went through this, right? So I went from getting out of prison, the 30 for 30 comes out, and in 2 and 3 years, I spoke over 400 times, right?
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask him, like, so after probably like it was fun to travel, fun to be in new cities, fun to be in hotels, fun to be on the stage, and then they got a period where it was very mundane, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, how do you pick yourself up to say the same thing over again? So because these motherfuckers saying this shit 1,000 times, and the person coming to experience it has never experienced it, but the energy, you have to keep.
Yeah,
on.
my assumption is
That's
that
a good question.
the talent needs to probably get in a position where they have an infrastructure where you just show up and think about jokes and developing your set,
Right.
and then your infrastructure handles that. But do you have a right-hand man or woman right now that's like can vet people for you in the business world, or no?
Yeah, some of that. I mean, I have agents that book the shows, so that's really handled. Ari's really great at, he's somebody that I trust. He's a friend.
Drives a Prius?
Yeah, he drives a Prius.
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy, and he always he contributes. That's what I'll say. He tries to go above and beyond and contribute, not just with his own talents, but like if we're going to shoot some video, which is something that I notice if you're trying to get into a business, like his ability to come in and also then be of service to me in a couple of little ways
Helps a ton.
that I would even, I'd work with him even if he didn't do those things, but it like
Brings value.
it adds so much value, and so, I have those things, but I think getting it a little bit more fine-tuned, it has been an adjustment period, recognizing that it's an adjustment period. But I used to just come to the club, nobody really gave a fuck, some people cared, it wasn't sold out, but I got to just be a goofball and have fun. And I do want to get back to that a little bit more. So I think I'll be able to. It's just going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of business and a little bit of biceps, bro. That's what's
Oh,
up.
yeah,
Man,
boy.
listen, those shoulders are getting a little broader to you. I gotta
It is.
tell you.
I was gonna-
Or is that sweatshirt? I don't know.
This is a question. I was going to ask, how do you take care of yourself?
Right now I'm trying to do some more stuff like go to yoga. I'm trying to do meditation, go to more meetings. Go to 12-step and recovery meetings just to be just a regular person, and not let my ego get infected. That's the scary part for me is if my ego gets just too much. I want to have, like you said, a healthy ego. So, but yeah, I could use a little bit more physical activity, just keep my blood going and keep myself, keep my body ready to support my aspirations as well, because that's another thing. It's like I notice I'll show up and get tired and it's like, dang, man, you haven't been doing that much.
When
You
those
gotta get
those
moving.
jeans are tight too.
God, they were
Well,
Too many lunges.
'cause I say mind, body, spirit. I think like even when I think like he won't take that next step until he get the business tight, he get your body tight. I think like when you function at the highest level, you need the energy for it. I think
You really
need
do.
to-
It's baffling. I didn't realize that as much. It is baffling how much. I mean, it really is. If you really want to do, you got to have mind, body, and spirit, man.
So as long as that stuff is a confusion of business stuff,
Right.
my stuff started to fall apart when I was too worried about T-shirts going out the door, books, pictures, who was going to set up a table, and like his gift is comedy. And so now you take that energy and then you put it all the way over here into all this other shit that now it's a part of you, and this is how you make money, but it's less about the performance on the stage, right? And I can see
That can give you anxiety
Man,
about
look,
the actual set
Corey,
because you worry about all this other shit.
I'm running to the dry cleaners. I'm running to go pick up books. I'm returning emails, all this other shit. And until I got Richard and he started doing all this stuff, now I could just be like, okay, cool. Take a percentage and you go do that. You go handle that. But he will never like.
It can limit you big time.
Yeah.
Were we talking about it? Like the Shaq and Kobe interview,
Yeah.
right? And did you watch that? Shaq and Kobe did a one-on-one interview. You remember? Were you talking about it?
Yeah,
Yeah, one of the greatest moments, right? But you can kind of look at it. So Shaq and Kobe had like this. It was a one-on-one interview where they were sitting down in the chairs and talking to each other, right? And Kobe was basically talking about how he was pissed at Shaq. I'll give the wisdom after, right? So he's talking about how he's pissed at Shaq, right? Kobe was like, man, I get up every day, shoot the ball, condition myself, eat right, run, do everything to be like the greatest of who I was, right? And he said this motherfucker Shaq would show up out of shape and he wouldn't get in shape until like
He
December,
knew he could get
January.
away with it.
And he knew he can get away with it. But the whole point was like Kobe was like consistent with saying like this during this great moment, what we could have become, we didn't maximize it because Shaq didn't do everything he could. And so I guess I'm telling you with your moment, you know what I'm saying, with your moment, will I be Kobe or will I be Shaq, right? Out of this moment that I have in time, with the platform that I have, the people I'm connected to, the upside, the comedy, the internet, all this stuff, like, will I do everything in my power to make the most out of this moment? And I think like that's the ultimate thing, but I can see the resentment with Shaq. Like the resentment in Shaq's face is like, I didn't make the most out of this
He
moment.
didn't put the
wow.
time on his body, and any professional, like, you just got to carve out time in your day, even if it's an hour, to stress your body in a positive way, because what that does for your mental health, fuck getting
Take the edge off.
Oh,
Dude, your mental health. If I don't get a workout in, I freak the fuck out.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think I get up now, dude? I fucking lose it. Straight
I'd go
talk.
I'd say like
I'd go
this.
crazy.
I
Jesus
would
Christ.
guarantee and bet you this, right? If you got in better shape, I guarantee you your fan base goes up.
Guaranteed.
Well,
Everybody likes to look at somebody who's physically in shape. I don't know what it is, but if you even did that and just physically did it, I guarantee you.
There's two things I can add. Is one is the confidence that will exude even more just because of the way you feel internally, right? You can't like put a price tag on it. It just happens. It's just something that happens. The second is having a daily strategy that always involves it, no matter what.
Right.
It doesn't have to be some grueling, crazy shit like I'm into. It can be literally walking, doing yoga, whatever. But what happens is it's a proven fact. It clears out all that junk and cobwebs that could be up there from. And the other thing I want to bring up, Mo, is we talked about here a lot, and I think this is good, is we talked about the present, the past, and the future things. And that, I think he goes in and out of a lot of that stuff where, what is it? The past is regret.
The past is depression.
Yep.
Future is anxiety. Living in the present is living.
Exactly. So when you're processing some of these things, that just kept running in my mind is think about that, because some of the, if you don't really live in the past, you're not regretting things. If you're not just so worried about the future, you don't have those anxious feelings. If you're living with what's really happened, what's Theo's real reality right now? It's what we witnessed last night. It's what I see on Instagram. My mom is here in town. She's like, that dude is so funny. You're about to work with him today.
Oh,
like,
that's
I mean,
cool.
dude, the demo from Mo texting out his homeboys to my mom.
brothers.
Yeah.
Text more of them, bro.
Yeah, hey.
Text more of them. Bro.
And my mom's like 60-something. Like, you know what I'm saying? The demo. That's
Right.
the reality, Theo. And so I think that's something I wanted to express, that it keeps popping up in my head that I keep, as I'm hearing you talk. So.
No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and I'm starting to notice it too. It's like I was just saying yesterday. I just want to be able to do my work. I just want to be able to do what I want to do. To do the comedy, because other stuff has just been. But I think some of it has been a transition period. But yeah, I mean, look, man, this is great, and this is one of the reasons why I love you guys and coming here is just it's you guys just have a good way of connecting, kind of mind, body, and spirit a little bit. And that's why, I trust you guys. That's why I liked you guys. I mean, obviously I was a big fan of Mo and just so inspired by him, but meeting you guys and having to listen to fucking John has been a fucking shit. Is he upset or not, you think?
No,
he's good.
you
No,
can't upset me.
no.
Yeah.
We appreciate you showing love too, Theo.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, no, it's the
yeah,
least I can
dude.
do, man, and I'll come back and do this again, man. And And just so my listeners that have come over and that that aren't familiar with you guys, Maurice played football for Ohio State, and now works in counseling and recovery, and also other small business. You just bought a new warehouse or something, didn't you guys?
Yeah, so it's the property that we purchased is going to be our detox center, and we'll have some other services and small businesses with inside the structure. But that's it, just real estate and recovery services.
Yeah, and Mo is just, he's so acute when it comes to just getting into why people think and then feel along with the feelings that are the side pieces of their thoughts. He's so articulate at it. Corey G, this is just for my listeners that are coming over that don't know, so I just want them to know why I care about you guys and who you are. So, and Corey G is a fitness model. He's a men's, male model.
I'm basically the real Zoolander. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, dude, he had
coal miner, model.
7,000 minute abs. You might have heard of his first album. And he's the only man ever to lunge across Alaska.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
They call him the human Iditarod, bro. But he's been on countless fitness covers, and he's just an assassin, and he has his own fitness company too. What is it?
Yeah, so I have my own website called Corey G Fitness where I do training. Then John and I own Max Effort Muscle together with the supplements. So.
Max Effort Muscle, and John used to work with MMA guys too, right?
I built and sold 2 marketing agencies in the space, like extreme sports space, MMA space, and now we work on supplements together and just real estate. And
John's being humble, man.
market.
He ran the UFC, bro. Like he had the most guys under contract. He ran my budget at MP, which was about $1 million a year, plus Safe Auto, plus Xbox, plus. If you wanted to advertise in the UFC, you had to come through this guy. Every manager hated him because John was the man.
Oh yeah, he's a certain type of man for sure. And I'm only going through y'all's accolades just so that my listeners that come over know exactly why. So it was very specific to them.
Appreciate that, man.
Because I wanted them to have that kind of welcome mat. But yeah, man, dude, I think you guys should have. I love sitting here and thinking, man. I just. And I love, I just needed a place too where, I didn't think I was going to be able to think about some of this stuff and hear it and get it, from guys who think about business and what's going on in a comfortable level, and I just appreciate it, man. I'd love to come back.
Absolutely.
I just tell you, get your strategy around getting less confused.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, get a strategy around that and.
Mo, he needs a whiteboard.
You need a white. I'm king whiteboard.
Are you?
Right? Yeah. So think about.
He's got a whiteboard room in his basement. He can.
John was over there. I'm telling you, you got to take your thoughts out your head. You have to put them on the wall or put them on the whiteboard, and you have to organize them, right? And you have to streamline dates and responsibilities and functions and who's responsible for them, and then put it in line, and then hold those people accountable to that stuff. And then Theo gets to comedy. If you don't have a strategy, my brother, you will go like this. They run you crazy.
Yeah, I feel like a ceiling fan sometimes right now, and it's just been recently, and I think some of it is because it's just a lot changing at once. But yeah, man, it's so funny how much I needed to hear that, dude. I really, that's exactly what I needed because that's how I feel sometimes. I feel like this ceiling fan,
Bro, I'm not a comedian. I've been in that place where you have business and then what you're doing. Whiteboard, okay, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. Who's responsible for this? Where's the function to this? Where's the accountability for this? You're the person for that. Next. Okay, what keeps me you need a strategy, bro.
And Mo, if you think about it, like he is a business, and businesses can only scale with people. Business can't go from 5 million to 10 million to 20 million with one dude.
No.
So you are a business, so you have to scale with people. So if you're not strategically putting people in place, man, you're going to be so stressed out, ceiling fan fucking mentality, you can't scale. No. You're not going to be able to.
Yeah, it's true. I think some of it's been I've just been afraid to invest in myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Go like this. Go look at the biggest comics. Biggest comics, biggest guys in sports. Just look at the biggest motherfuckers, right? You do little shit by yourself. You do big shit with other people. They all have teams of fucking people who are responsible for their functions. If you look at any athlete or any person who's talking about they're taken down, what are they usually taken down by? A shitty team, right? They have a shitty team, people who weigh on them, people who add no
Same
value.
business.
Ari's not fucking slick. Ari knows, hey, I can go on and have a platform with him, but I'm going to add value to Theo and take some stress off him. That's his value. That's how he stays in that position.
Yeah.
And the more value that he adds, he needs to look at your life and say, okay, I have to wear multiple hats since I'm next to this dude, right? And so let me take some stuff off of his plate, and that will forever solidify him being with you.
Yeah.
Right? And what does that do? It increases his platform. Right? He's looking into the distance, but he know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Hey,
oh, he's a real fucking snake, that guy.
Theo, have you ever went and like kicked it with a guy like a Kevin Hart or somebody that's at that level to see how
You
they
don't have
operate?
access
'Cause
to
I
those
think-
guys. You don't
I
have
think-
access to like Sebastian. I have access to Bill Burr, and I have
think you
access to
gotta see
Krista
it.
Lee, and I really should go and
Just
and
tag
Rogan
along.
and just ask them.
Just tag along, because I think, look, I've got to be around some crazy high-level achievers that we all have, and you see how they operate, and you realize why they're there.
I think some of it's a fear, like if I don't do it by myself, then or something like that. You know, I think there's
No
some
one
kind
does
of,
everything
can't
by
do it by
themselves, brother.
yourself.
right.
No one does it by
Man.
themselves. Self-made doesn't really exist.
Yeah, bro.
Right, but like there's this weird thing like that I'm deserting, like it's like I don't know what it is. It's just some weird thing. But you're right. I just need to quit thinking about that shit, and I just need to take suggestions from others that are in places that I would like to be.
There you go. Is that a good place to wrap it?
Fuck, man.
Yeah, man. I think that's good for me, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
man. I appreciate you guys so much for
Yeah.
coming out, man. I really,
Absolutely.
dude,
Thank
bro,
you for
you
coming
should have
here.
a guest here every week, man. You guys
Yeah.
should. You guys should have every business owner. I don't care if it's a guy that owns, the John Deere place on the way, or anything. You should have him.
We should
But I'm
take that
serious,
advice
though.
from Theo.
Because it's interesting, man. I
Yeah.
swear to God. I mean, I've listened to you guys' episodes. Not all of them, but I probably
Yeah.
listened to maybe about 8 or 10 episodes. But I think having somebody else where you guys can bounce off of them, man, that's really interesting.
Valuable.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
man. Especially then because it's here locally, and it's like, it's like people love Ohio. I mean, there's such a state mentality here.
There is.
100%.
It's crazy. The hotel I'm at, they have the high school association.
Oh, football
coach.
Yep,
you,
yep.
Oh, you had the. I ain't gonna say it, but I know where you're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know. So my guy tried to get me to come over there last
And they
night.
have big. Oh, dude! Look, right when I was in there, people were coming up and talking to me. I was like, "Oh, Maurice Claret's coming to the show tonight, man." So I was,
He out there repping you, Bo.
I was bragging, man.
So I went
I was
last
excited.
year. I
Yeah.
did
It's
the
big.
presentation. No, it's huge over there.
And they would love that, but I mean, they had 2 whiteboards in there. Right when you walk in, and people were like, "I need a coach in this city. We want to play somebody this week." And then my favorite part of the boards is in the back, in the right corner. Somebody wrote "D's nuts" in the fucking
Yes,
right corner,
yeah.
bro. That shit was
There's always that guy.
Look, they got a great brunch there too.
Oh, we just had it.
Oh, man, look,
It's in our bodies right now.
we go.
Dr. Breakfast.
There we
Let's
go.
see.
Dr. Breakfast.
It's in our bodies. Dude, business and biceps, man, I'll come back here to this when I need to be lifted up, man. I appreciate you guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
you
you
got
for
it. So
coming
we
out,
got to
man.
do it officially.
Yep.
So, Theo Vaughn, Johnny Fosco,
Fuck you,
Maurice
bro.
Claret. Can the podcast be stopped? The podcast can't be stopped!